everyone, my name is Carissa. I'm the Fake It Till You Make It mom. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're joining me the first time, then welcome to my channel. I want to let you know that this is a change of scenery. This is not my normal place that I would shoot my videos, and this is not my typical attire. Though I know it's super sexy to have things all over. So yes, as you can see, I am currently in the hospital. So let me tell you what kind of happened and where I'm at. I will be doing my Monday day in the life video about my stay. It's probably going to be broken up into 2 or 3 videos due to the fact that I've been in the hospital for 2 days and I'll be in the hospital for 1 more day. So I'm not going to go into details. I'm just going to say that I am here for a gallbladder removal surgery yesterday and I'm having another procedure done today. So that's where I'm at, and that will be covered on Monday. I'm also really raspy. Apologize in advance. I have not been able to drink anything since 5:00 p.m. on Wednesday the 18th. I also haven't eaten anything but half of a sleeve of saltines since the 11th of July. I'm starving. I'm so thirsty. My throat hurts. I'm very sore, and I have a migraine kicking in. But I'm in good spirits at least because my gallbladder's gone. So the topic of this vlog today is a little different than I had originally planned. I had planned on showing some things that I had gotten as a gift from a friend, which I'll probably have to do next week instead. But today I'm going to talk about the birth stories for both my daughters. I have 2 daughters. Most of you know that. I have a 16-month-old named Kira, and I have a 3-month-old named Ari. Now with Kira, we were actively trying to get pregnant. We met with the doctor and she told us, I had my IUD removed, and she said it would probably take upwards of a year to get pregnant because I had had 3 losses in the past. Now, I don't want to sound insensitive and say that they were blessings in disguise, but it was not a good time in my life for me to be having children. So, you know, I think that things worked out the way that they were supposed to. There was instances where it was sad. There were instances where I thought that there was something wrong with me, with my body, that I wasn't going to physically be able to have children. But that ended up, you know, I've had 2 since. So, we started trying to have a baby, and it only took 1 month before we were pregnant. So that was unexpected because we were expecting a year, but we found out we were pregnant with Kira, or rather, we found out that I was pregnant with Kira. I can't stand that other way I said it, but it was a very uneventful pregnancy. It was very easy. I did not have any morning sickness whatsoever. Now, I didn't have a great appetite, so I did lose like a bunch of weight. Even when I finally gave birth, the day that I gave birth, like the day before, I was, you know, like 25 pounds below my pre-pregnancy weight. So for me, it's been a weight loss technique. I'm not advocating that. Do not think that I'm saying that getting pregnant means you're going to lose weight, because that is not the case for most people. Easy pregnancy. Very little aches and pains, general cravings. I always wanted, excuse me, I always wanted squirt soda, and I wanted pickles and cheddar cheese and stuff all the time. In the first trimester, I wanted like hard-boiled eggs all the time. I kind of got a slight meated version during part of it, and then I started craving like lots of fruits and things like that. So pretty good for me. If anything, it made me just really want to eat healthier overall. which that's good. That's good that my body did that. I did have SPD, so which is symphysis, I believe. I think it's symphysis pubic dysfunction, where my pubic bone separated early. It started separating around 24 weeks, and I actually had a full, what's called a complete separation, where it completely separated. The ligaments were completely separated in my pubic bone. So like I could actually like literally poke between my pubic bone and like go into my abdomen. And what that meant for me is just it was very uncomfortable. I would get sharp pains and stuff when sitting down and stuff like that because my pelvis was just moving, pretty much. And it also meant that her head dropped really early into my pelvis, and so it just was sore. What that also meant for me was birth was going to be easy. I didn't know that at the time, but I know that now. So if you guys are experiencing SPD, I will say, for the most part, it usually will help with the birthing process, in my experience. So I went to work that day, got off at like 9 o'clock at night, and came home. I went to bed at 11 o'clock at night, and I was literally getting into bed. And by the way, I should say in advance that this is talking about birth stories, so if you do not want to hear about bodily fluids, you're probably going to want to skip to the next part of my video, or at least not listen to this part, because it's really the only part I really talk about fluids. But anyways, yeah. Felt a little bit of a squirt down there, and I wasn't sure if it was discharge or if I had like a water break. So I'm one of those people where I bought Depends diapers for myself, and let me tell you guys, if you have thought about it, they're the best investment that I made for my birth stays. I did it with both babies, and they were awesome. I didn't have to wear those god-awful Godzilla pads that they make you wear, which are super uncomfortable for me. I got the Depends silhouettes, which are very discreet. They look and feel like underwear, but they're absorbent, so it was super great for me. So yeah, I put on a Depends when I went into bed, just in case, and a little bit later, I went to go to the bathroom, so when I sat up and I flexed my ab muscles, there was another squirt. I was like, am I really that paranoid? So I went to the bathroom and I sat there, and it's not like I was leaking or anything. So then I like flexed my ab muscles and there was a little bit more. Well, I just wasn't sure, and I was like, well, I will just wait to see if I get any contractions, and I went to bed. Well, 5 o'clock in the morning rolls around, and I haven't had any contractions, but I've definitely been saturating. That Depends. So I get up and I take a shower and I shave my legs and I do my makeup, which all these things are easy because I'm not having contractions. And finally then I wake up my husband because I'm all ready. I finished packing up the hospital bag and told him, okay, time to go, it's baby time. We drive to the hospital, and I actually looked pretty good, so I'll insert a picture of how I looked right here. So I was pretty happy with how I looked there, and that's actually later on in the day. They checked me. They said that my water wasn't broken. They did a Fern test, and then I was like, no, it's definitely broken. You're gonna need to check again. So they go to check again, and then gush. Gross. But yeah, they're like, okay, we believe you. They send me to a room. I get into a room about 8 o'clock, finally, and they give me a little tiny pill, like a quarter of the little tiny pill called Cytotec. And they said that was what they were going to use to induce me. And when they checked me, when I got there, I was only half of a centimeter dilated, not even like a full. Half of a centimeter dilated. Baby was still high up. I mean, she was dropped, but she wasn't like pushing on my cervix or anything like that. I wasn't effaced. So they induced me with the Cytotec. Around noon, that's when they hit. My contractions hit, and they hit like full-blown, crazy, off the scale contractions, super strong. And so they checked me at noon, and then I'm finally at a centimeter, or centimeter and a half. So whatever, they do that. Time progresses. They check me again at like 2 o'clock. Now I'm 2 centimeters. They check me at like 5 o'clock. 5? Maybe closer to like 5:30. No, 5 o'clock. They checked me at 5 o'clock, and I'm at 5 centimeters. And things were getting really, really intense for me. I told them, I was like, you know, I don't know, what I'm expecting. I told them to check me, and they're like, okay. I said, because if I'm not progressing, then I can't do this. I'm going to need an epidural. And I had the most natural birth plan, that you can possibly have. And it was just so intense. I had been going through it for 5 hours. And of like transition level contractions. So they checked me, I'm at 5. I'm like, yeah, they're like, it'll probably be at least 5 more hours because you're dilating a centimeter an hour. So I was like, okay, order an epidural. I can't do this. They're like, okay. They put in the order, and they're like, we're going to have to wait for everything. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go pee. So I got up, go to the bathroom, sit on the toilet, and I'm peeing, and then I feel like I have to start, like, I don't feel like I have to start pushing. My body involuntarily started pushing, and I was like, oh my god. So I finally get out of the room, and by this time it's like 5:15. I've gotten out of there. I call my nurse on the thing, and she like answers all irritated with me. And I was like, can you come in here and check? Because I feel like something's wrong. Things have gotten like to a new degree of intensity. I feel like I can't stop myself from pushing. She finally comes in, and she like rolls her eyes at me, and I was like, I can't stop myself from pushing. And she's like, well, don't push. And she goes to check me, and sure enough, I'm 10 centimeters, and baby's coming, like, starting to crown. She's like, okay, hold her in, we'll call the doctor. Fortunately, my OB is literally, like, just a couple minutes away. So, he gets there at, like, 5, no. By the time he gets there, it's, like, 5:50, and you're telling me to hold this baby in, and I'm having these horrible contractions, and I feel her moving down, and I'm getting that ring of fire feeling because she's starting to crown, and I can't stop myself. Finally, my doctor comes in the room, and he's like, okay, hello, Miss Carissa, blah, 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 and he walks in, and he's like, you ready to have a baby? And I was like, yep. And he's like, okay, well, we can go ahead and get you to start pushing. So he gets his, like, he's starting to put his gown on, and they're like, okay, go ahead and push. One push, and her head is just out. And he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. He didn't even have, like, his gloves on. And I didn't even have to push hard. It was literally just naturally happening. And he's like, I need you to slow down. They checked, her cord wasn't like wrapped around or anything. And then he's like, okay, just give me like one more. And I did like half of a push and she was out. And I immediately felt so much better. They immediately put her on my chest. Well, they actually put her on my stomach because I wanted to do delayed cord clamping. They put her on my stomach because she had a short cord, and they left her there for like 3 minutes. And then they finally cut the cord, just set her on a towel and let me hold her. Then they delivered all the rest of the stuff that happens. I was fortunate, I had no tearing. I had a minor abrasion, but it wasn't a big deal. They didn't have to do anything for it, except for it really burned to pee for like a week. She was perfect. They gave her a 9 out of 10 on her APGAR, which they said they like never give 10s. Whatever. And she was the generic red squishy puffy alien looking thing. I would not use the word beautiful because she was, I call it generic. I think they all look exactly the same when they're first born. And I will say though, because my birth was so fast, she did not have like a cone head or anything like that, which was nice. She was shaped perfectly. She was born at 38 weeks and 6 days, and that's at least what they said. I'm more inclined to believe that she was actually either due or past due. She had no vernix, any of that white substance on her. She had none of that on her at all when she was born. So here is a picture literally immediately when I put her on my chest. And I didn't look at her for a little bit. Now, one thing that I want to mention, which I'm going to try not to get emotional about it, but because of the fact that I was already struggling with depression, because I had prepartum or antenatal depression, when she was born, I didn't feel an automatic connection to her. I didn't have like these overwhelming feelings of, oh my god, my life has just changed. I didn't tell her that I loved her right away. I didn't look at her right away. I just held her on my chest, and it was like that, the entire stay in the hospital. I just was holding this baby. I didn't even really feel a bond. That came later. It took a few weeks for me to really develop feelings and bond and things like that, but and that was really hard because I felt like something was wrong with me, and obviously it was a hormone issue, but that's what I was dealing with. She latched on. She was breastfeeding like a champion. Now, we did find out later on that she had both a lip and tongue tie, which were later corrected. But so that is my birth story with Kira. Because of the fact that my water had broken so long in advance, they did make me stay for 36 hours so they can monitor me for infection, and that sucked because these beds are super uncomfortable. Not these beds, because I did not deliver at this hospital, but in general, hospital beds are uncomfortable. So that was my birth story with Kira. Ari's is a lot shorter than that. Ari, another uneventful pregnancy, though I found out I was pregnant with her after only 3 months of being pregnant with Kira. After I was pregnant with Kira. And that was a huge surprise for us. I don't want to say we were devastated, but we were freaking out because we did not expect that. And another super easy pregnancy. Was no morning sickness at all. Same cravings as the first time. We were honestly kind of disappointed when we found out that she was a girl. We were really hoping that she was going to be a boy, so we would have one of each. because we are done. Number 2, we were done. And she was, everything was fine. Because of the fact that I had SPD with Kira and I didn't have a chance to heal in between, I had severe SPD as well with Ari. So walking was pretty painful, sleeping was pretty painful, but those are really the only things I had. Pregnancy insomnia, some restless legs, but nothing that I could really complain about, nothing that was bad, except for the gallstones. I started having gallstones at about 28 weeks pregnant, and I was actually in Wisconsin visiting my husband's family for the very first time when I had my first attack. I swear I thought I was having a miscarriage. It was the most painful thing I've experienced in my entire life, and I had 2 attacks that week. And I was like vomiting severely. I was freaking out. Honestly, I was. And now I know that gallstones are very common to happen during pregnancy. And they usually don't resolve, unfortunately, even after giving birth, which is why I'm here. So, yeah, pregnant with Ari. 38 weeks rolls around, and my doctors had put me on, like, alert for precipitous labor, which means that when I actually start to go into active labor, so above 5 centimeters, it is less than 3 hours. 2 days before I had her, I was having really bad contractions, so I went to the emergency room and they checked me, and or I was in triage rather, and I was at 4 centimeters, and they told me that they could not admit me until I was 5 centimeters. So they're like, we're gonna have you walk around for like an hour. And I was like, well, I want you guys to really think about this, because last time I hit 5 centimeters, I gave birth like 15 minutes. I gave birth, I dilated 5 centimeters in 15 minutes. And I said, it was really hard for me to keep the baby in. So I want you guys to think about whether or not you're going to send me home. And my midwife at my practice told them ultimately to send me home. Now, I didn't mention this. So Kira was born, as I had said, 38 weeks, 6 days. She was born at 6:01 p.m. on February the 28th. And she was 6 pounds, 6.6 ounces. And she was 18 and a half, 19. She was somewhere around there. She was a small baby. She was like 19 and a half inches long, or 19 inches long. So that was Kira's measurements. So they sent me home with Ari, and I was super bummed out. I decided to walk that whole next day, and then went to sleep. I worked that whole night, and I got off at 5:15 in the morning, went to sleep at 5:15, woke up at, I want to say 7:45, with really bad pains, and I thought I was having a gallbladder attack, or that I was just cramping really badly. So I went to the bathroom to see if it was that, or if I was dehydrated. So I drank a bunch of water, I went to the bathroom, I took a shower, all the things that you would normally do to rule out whether or not it's like Braxton Hicks or dehydration, things like that. Pain started getting really bad, so I'm like trying to do my makeup while I'm contracting, and I'm like, whoo, no, I wasn't really like that, but I was like grabbing my counter while I was putting makeup on, and sweating, so counterproductive for putting makeup on because I was sweating, but I did get ready, I did look presentable in my opinion, and my mom was supposed to meet me at our house so she could pick up Kira, because I told her as soon as I started having the feelings, I was like, I think it's baby time, you're going to want to head down. She lives like an hour away from us. at like 7:55, I asked her, I was like, where are you? And she's like, I'm like half an hour away. I was like, meet us at the hospital. You're gonna have to meet us there. We have to leave now. So we pack up Kira, we put her in the car, and I'm in the car, obviously in the passenger seat. And husband is gunning it. And I'm talking, he's driving way over the speed limit, like in a construction zone and everything. Um, and we are taken off because we live 45 minutes from the hospital. So we officially leave our house at 8:02 a.m. and I get to the hospital at 8:28 is when I check in with the front desk people, and I'm like, I'm having a baby. I'm having my baby right now. And of course, again, they rolled their eyes at me. I was like, it's so frustrating. I don't know why they don't believe me. Like, this is my first rodeo. I've had a baby before. And I was like, she's coming right now. They bring out a wheelchair. I'm in skinny jeans, by the way, at this time. And my Depends. And they're like, okay, we'll bring you a wheelchair. I was like, I cannot sit down. I have a baby coming out of me. So they put me on a gurney. They roll me up. They're rolling me up to labor and delivery. And I had called my midwife in advance. Like, I called my doctor's office. I was like, I want you guys to know I'm 30 minutes from the hospital. I'm driving there right now. I am having this baby. I'm going to be lucky if I make it. And they're like, okay, well, we'll send someone over. So like I said, I checked in at the front gate, at the front doors at 8:28. As I was walking in, my water broke. So they put me on a gurney. They're rolling me up. They take me into the elevator. They are rolling me to labor delivery, and I said, my baby's head is coming out. And they're like, okay. Two people, like a man and a woman, orderly, pull my pants down, like right there in the hallway in front of everyone. And I'm telling you right now, it was like a wet explosion. Like, my husband said he could have done a vine of my birth because I was not pushing. It was completely involuntary. They pulled my pants down and the entire baby came out. I gave birth at 8:32. So 4 minutes, ouch, 4 minutes after checking into the hospital, or 4 minutes after walking into the doors of the hospital, I gave birth. On a gurney, delivered by orderlies, and then my midwife got there 15 minutes later. So, that was interesting. You know, I never had to put on a hospital gown, really. I mean, they had me put one on when they were cleaning me up. With Kira, I didn't poop, guys. No poop. With Ari, it was such a trauma that there was a little poop. Not a lot, but a little poop. They didn't notice, but I did. So I had to have them clean that up. And with her, I did have a tiny tear. It was like 6 stitches or something like that. And that is mostly because she came out like this with her arm up. So her elbow was like, her elbow caught on me when she came out. She just come flying out. She was 6 pounds, 13 ounces. And she was also really small. She was 19.5 inches. And also had a 9 out of 10 APGAR score. Passed her hearing test, everything. Also, no vernix. Because of the fact that there was no one there to deliver my baby, there was no like doctor, and she just kind of flew out of me. I did immediately get to do skin to skin, and I got the delayed cord clamping that I wanted. I even got to deliver the placenta before they cut my cord. So that was really nice for me. That is what I had really wanted to do, and she was super pink and everything. She had a bruise right here on her nose, so I'm going to show just a couple pictures right here of the birth, or not the birth, sorry, we definitely did not film that, but pictures of her right after being born. And so she did have a bruise right here from coming out so fast. Again, no misshapen head or anything because the birth was so fast. And then I found out after the fact, actually a couple weeks after the fact, because I could not, I didn't get any pain medication or anything like that because I was perfectly fine, but I could not sit or lay down to save my life. And it was so painful. So I ended up going to the doctor. It turns out that when she was born, she fractured my pelvis. So I had to go through like physical therapy and blah, blah, blah. So crazy, like fast torpedo baby labors. Not super unpleasant. I wouldn't even, like, if I was to rank my gallbladder attacks and birth, my gallbladder attacks would rank like a 7 on my pain scale, and my births would rank like a 2-3. That's how excruciating my gallbladder attacks were. So, those are my birth stories, and now I've got 2 adorable babies, and you guys have seen them in my videos, but I'm just going to go ahead and post pictures of what they each look like now. So this is Kira. And she's 16 months old. And this is Ari. And she is 3 months old. She was born on April the 11th. I'm going to go ahead and end my vlog post here. This coming up Friday, I am not sure what I'm doing for Featured Friday yet, but I'm sure I will figure something out. And I believe this coming up Saturday is when I do my July favorite video. And then on Monday, I will be doing, as I mentioned, instead of doing a day in the life in the traditional sense, I'm going to be doing a video of my hospital stay and updating everyone there. Don't worry, I should have episode 3 of A Day in the Life the following Monday, so not this coming up Monday, but the following. And then I believe on this Sunday, the 24th, if I'm not mistaken, it may actually be the 30th, 31st. I'm not sure, but the last Sunday of the month, I'll be doing my sentimental Sunday, where I'll post like clips of pictures and videos and stuff from this last month that, you know, are fun and, you know, of the family and the kids and stuff, things that we did and whatnot. So I'm gonna go ahead and end that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do uploads every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with smatterings of uploads here and there. And go ahead and click that subscribe button below and give this video a thumbs up if you like what you see. Leave comments below if you like this video, if you, you know, what you thought of my birth story, if you had a similar birth story, something fast, something crazy, if you gave birth in your car, in the waiting room, or at home because you couldn't make it. I would love to hear about it in the comments below. So thank you guys so much for watching yet again, and I will see you guys on Friday. Bye!